Hi there, this is Chris the Good Guy, and welcome everybody to another edition of the 4 o'clock game for the Musicradio77 Television Network. And on this program today, I'm going to take a break from playing video games. As of right now, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. So, we're going to present to you something a little bit special for you. And for those of you who are watching this video, possibly the last time around, if you have seen it all the time. If you, as you may recall, Pat the NES Punk, who did a video of what he was called, made a review, did an episode on what he found, a cassette tape that he found in probably in one of his collections of all these Nintendo stuff. Well, and yeah, I watched Pat the NES Punk's video, and I think this is so funny, and it was hilariously funny. After watching this episode, it was so funny after all these years. So I just want to tell you, if you want to see Pat the NES Punk, go to his YouTube channel and see what it is. And this is a very, very interesting thing because of the why did they do this? Because of the back in the days, this is what had happened to. This is something possibly a little bit special for you. Because this is something different and something that you don't find this like this before. And if you have never heard of it or never played this game or anything like you, so I just want to tell you something all about that. So, anyways, just to move right along. I was just trying to think about it. Okay, just get it right off the bat. Hold on a second. Okay, today on the 4 o'clock game, this is, because like I said, it's completely different. It's not a playthrough, but it's something completely different. It's about Nintendo Power Tips. Yep, this is the Nintendo Power Tips. It came out in 1989 and was made by Nintendo. And as you see the cassette right there, here it is. This is Nintendo Power. See its focus right there? Yep, this tape is so rare, you don't find these anymore. And it was actually part of a mail-in giveaway promotion from what it was then called the Nintendo Serial System, which came out in 1989. I want to show you the Nintendo Serial System cover. I used to eat. Before I'll show you the Nintendo Serial System. I used to eat the Nintendo Serial System as a kid, but when I was growing up, I was 10 years old when I grew up eating this whole cereal. Became one of the most underrated cereals ever. It's like 2 cereals in one. What are you gonna do? Put 2 cereals each. It has one of them cereals has Super Mario Brothers, and the second cereal is a Legend of Zelda section of the cereal. It came out in '88, and it was from Nintendo Power. It was from around a magazine ad. It was taken from a magazine ad. It says Nintendo is for breakfast now. Nintendo is 2 cereals in one. Wow, Super Mario Brothers and Zelda 2. Mix them, match them, crunch them, you can't lose. Fruit-flavored Marios, mushrooms and Goombas, berry-flavored Links, hearts and shields. Nintendo is breakfast news. Nintendo Serial System. If you can't beat them, eat them. This is kind of like a back of an advertising campaign from one of those old comic books that was from that time period. And, yeah, you can see it's off of MrBreakfast.com. You can see the cover on this Nintendo Serial System. This is from 1989. It says save $6 on Nintendo Power, and plus a free audio tape, which by a mail order. And the comment from the submitter. This box has a save $6 on a 1-year subscription to Nintendo Power. Which is, it used to be a great magazine, but now it's gone. So, Yep, this last issue was back in December of last year. It was the very last issue of Nintendo Power. Those of you who've been watching this video, it was after a 23-year run of Nintendo Power. Yep, after a 22 or 23-year run of the issue of this magazine of Nintendo Power, that has been gone for completely for good. But now they got the internet and everything like that. I know a lot of you watched the video, and I don't have the last issue of Nintendo Power, but I'll have to think about someday. It says $6 off on a 1-year subscription to Nintendo Power magazine off, plus a cent away for free game tips on cassette. You see, these are all the free game tips that came with this one. It's a mail-away promotion for Nintendo Power magazine, and that used to be a promotional stint for a Nintendo Power magazine to begin with. And this came with a cassette. So I found this on the internet probably about a month and a half ago when I was going through other stuff on YouTube. I found it. It was the complete recording of the Nintendo Power Tips tape. And I have never heard listening to that before. It was an audio tape from 1989, which came out. It was part of a Nintendo Power, which was kind of like an advertisement for Nintendo Power. It ran for about 3 minutes. It gives you all the game tips of several NES games. And there was a couple of these that were mistakes in there. I'm going to talk about that after I listen to this. This was recorded on a YouTube video and played this on a Ikari reel-to-reel tape recorder that came out in, like, those of you may remember of reel-to-reel tape recorders that came out in the 70s and 60s. And you see it was played on a machine called the Ikari Model 721W. I know there was a lot of stuff on YouTube had this one. And this recording came on a reel-to-reel tape, and you can see on the back, it says Nintendo Power Tips, Game Tips, with Pop Goes the Movies, which was a Miko album, and then this three Super Scope Storyteller series telestory albums that include Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Hansel and Gretel, as well on the other side, the read-along version of Gremlins and E.T., narrated by Michael Jackson, the king of pop himself. These are recorded on a vintage Silvertone reel-to-reel tape, as you might ask it. But this is, yep, you can see there is some little bit of tear on that one, so that has a little bit of writing. So I had to white it. I used whiteout for that to rectify that had the white thing. So just to keep it as it is. So as of right now. Without further ado, it's time to play the game. It's not going to play a game. It's time to listen to Nintendo Power Game Tips from 1989, and I hope you all like it. So we'll be back after this recording. I will be talking about it.
Hi, Power Players. Listen up, and we'll provide you with tips for some of your favorite NES game packs. You may want to grab a pencil and a piece of paper, or wait to write them down until the next time you listen. First, I have some valuable continue codes for you. Follow the directions closely, and you'll be able to start your game from where you finished or close to it. Here we go. In Super Mario Brothers, when the screen reads Game Over, hold down the A button and then press Start. In Gradius, as soon as your last ship is destroyed, quickly push down, then up on the control pad, and then BA, 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 start after Game Over. For Ikari Warriors, right after you lose your last man, quickly press AB, BA, and your character will reappear. This one also works for Ikari Warriors 2, Victory Road. In Hudson's Adventure Island, find the bee hidden inside the egg at the end of Stage 1, and you'll gain the ability to continue. Just hold right on the control pad and press Start. Here's another powerful tip we've discovered that works on both Life Force and Contra. Follow along closely for the key to getting 30 extra men or spaceships. When the title screen appears, press up twice, down twice, then left, right on your control pad. Then press B, A, and start. Presto, you start the game with 30 lives, and each time you continue, you'll receive 30 new lives. And for our grand finale, we're going to tell you how to enter a whole new ring in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You can earn your title a brand new way by entering the pass key 135-702-468. Leave the last digit blank. Then press and hold the A, B, and select buttons at the same time. I know you'll find these tips helpful, as well as all the great game info in every issue of Nintendo Power. These great Nintendo Power tips were brought to you by Nintendo Serial System. You'll find insider info like this and much more in every issue of Nintendo Power, the source for NES players, straight from the pros.
Well, how do you like that? Well, that was the Nintendo Power Tips tape from 1989. I know a lot of you, I know a lot of you people who actually know the frustration of this. There was actually game tips that was included. I know the narration. They did a terrible job when they made this tape. They came out in '89. I don't know why kids actually want to get the Nintendo Power when you have to save $6 on a one-year subscription to a Nintendo Power magazine, and then includes a free audio tape that came with this magazine. It has the tips of all the NES game tips. That's kind of odd, and a couple of these were just some of these are errors in there, because I know that. Let me give you a little example of what I've just found. What happened if you're listening very carefully, if you listen to this recording, I would like to tell you all about. I just looked up on game FAQs. We're gonna give you a little thing about the problem. What happens? What is happening to this? There were some mistakes in the game. The first up that I was mentioned about that he was describing as in Super Mario Brothers for the NES. When after you use your last life, you have to hit A and continue. Hit A and start. That's a great thing. You have to continue. That's not that bad, but yeah, that's very good. You can hit the A button and then hold the A button and start to continue the game. That's a pretty interesting game. That's when you die after you lose your last life. And in Super Mario Brothers, in the first game, all you do is at the game over screen, hit the continue, hit the A button and start to continue your mission to resume the game. And this is very interesting to say about that. In the second part, when in this game tips tape, he mentions Gradius or Gradius, whatever they call it, the name, the game, whatever you call it, Gradius, whatever. I just pronounced it. So he just saying that after your last ship has died, you have to hit the at the game over screen. You have to hold down, then up, then BA, 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 just 4 times when he said that. But that's kind of weird. How many BAs you have? But according to Game FAQs, you see it's at the game over screen. You have to hit down, up, BA, 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 start. You can only use once per game. That's only you have to continue your mission, to continue your game, because that's the only thing. I tried this after you died, and after the last ship died in Gradius. All you had to do is continue the game, and by pressing down, up, BA, 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 and start. And then what happens, instead of continue, it starts the game all over again. That's strange. That is kind of odd. But yeah, I had this problem with Gradius for the NES that had the problem trying to continue the game. That is a kind of a frustration they did in the game. There was actually there was one he does not mention included in Gradius. There was a full option command. You have to hit the Konami code. That's later on. We're going to talk about Gradius later on. We're just doing the codes later on. And the other game he mentioned is the other two games, Ikari Warriors. I know those of you watched the AVGN's episode where he did a review of this game. It's pretty bad, and it's kind of a lame game for an NES library to handle. Because this is the only game I have that my cousin gave it to me many years ago that he used to have all the NES titles in his collection. So this is a very interesting game because that's the way. Yeah, Ikari Warriors took forever to beat this whole game because it's a very bad game. You had to continue by pressing the code ABBA. And why did they call this game ABBA in Ikari Warriors? But what the heck is this? According to the source, what did they say? Well, but and speaking of ABBA, you had to continue. You're just trying to find, what is this? Yeah, they got that from a group, ABBA. I don't know if you've never heard of ABBA, the group, and if you know, it's kind of like Ikari Warriors to me. Yeah, I gotta focus a little bit more and see what it is. Yeah, you can see it's a little focused here because it says ABBA or ABBA. That's right. That's the name of the Swedish group. You know, remember that song Dancing Queen and Waterloo and Fernando and Money, Money, Money and Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's Gimme, Gimme, Gimme and Mamma Mia. Remember that song? All the ABBA stuff? That's odd. I cannot believe this. It's where you continue your game. Same thing they did with Ikari Warriors 2 Victory Road. That's another one of the worst titles on an NES library. But SNK did a terrible job when they made this game like crazy. And it's so bad. And it's kind of a bad disgrace of a game. You had to die. And once in the third level, that ABBA is not working. Yeah, they don't work in other games. If you try, it took forever to continue the game. And that's frustrating, folks. And that's a very interesting thought. So, and in this next game that he mentions, Hudson's Adventure Island, or he said Hudson's Adventure Island, or Adventure Island to be exact. And this game was made by a game company called Hudson Soft, which is no longer there anymore. It's not Hudson Soft anymore. It's now Konami. You know, because last year Hudson went out of business back in like last year. But all these games, all the Hudson titles that actually was in that game, it belongs to Konami. I think Konami also did other classics like Adventure Island. It's now doing other Hudson-related games like Adventure Island and the other games, but along with the franchise, along with Castlevania games. But once if it ends on the first half of the level, there was a hidden egg appear. There was a Hudson B. You have to get it until you earn a continue. You have to die, hit the right button, and then start to continue the game. You can hold right and continue your game. That works. That's interesting. And then there's another one that I was trying to mention that he mentions this one in both Life Force and Contra. Those two are Contra was the best NES game around because it's probably one of the best NES games that really beats the heck out of us, because this is the game that I remember growing up playing Contra, and this is one of the games that I ever remembers very much. And Life Force, yes, Life Force was a sequel to Gradius. And this is the same thing they did. The idea is where you did a Konami code. You have to, both games starts off with, at the title screen, you have to enter a Konami code. Yeah, he says up twice, down twice, left, right, but he does not say because avoid the copyright issues or whatever it is. I just said to myself, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. That's kind of the most popular, one of the most famous Konami code in the history of video games. You had to enter a Konami code. That's easy. That's not that bad, but he said the narrator saying up twice, down twice, instead of saying up, up, and down, down, what Pappy NES Punk was just saying. That's kind of odd. I don't know why they just did that when he was listening to his tape that he just listened to, and that's kind of really weird. that's kind of a more frustrating thing. That's confusing to what gamers would say. Up, down, left, right, BA start. The next time, yeah, that's it. I think it's good, but yeah, it's good for playing games like this. I remember playing that as a youngster. And of course, on the last section of the game of this tip, it was mentioned in this grand finale. They put the grand finale in there in this game, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yeah, if you don't remember this game, those of you may remember this game, and this was in this final section of the Nintendo Power's Tips tape. They put the grand finale code in there by entering the code 135-702-468, and it's missing the last number, the last digit. That's completely incorrect. That is exactly wrong, and what happened, it's wrong. It was one of the biggest mistakes in video game history, in this Nintendo Power Tips tape history, that they made a mistake in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, the game. It has one slight error in the tape, because that is so bad. After watching it, after he puts the code in, and then it goes, hey, we're gonna go back to start. What the heck? That does have to try it again. And look at that. It is so bad. I don't know why. It's as funny as heck. It's one of the most hilarious moment in video game history. That one of the most dumbest moment in history of in this Nintendo Power Tips tape. They had this one. You had to go to Game FAQs. I checked out the Game FAQs a little bit. It's got to be Another World Circuit. Yes, it's where you go to you can play as which is the code for Another World Circuit. It's 135-792-468-0. Yeah, they're missing the 0 in there. I don't know why Game FAQs actually did this mistake in the game. I don't know why. Game FAQs made a terribly mistake. You have to put the last digit 0 in there. Why they put the last digit 0? Why they didn't put the last digit 0 in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? It's got the right code. You gotta hit A, B, select buttons, and then at the same time you have to start with Another World Circuit. I tried this code years ago when they made the most dumbest move in the history. You gotta put the code in. It's not 0. It says 7. It says it's to correct the mistakes. It's 135-792-4680. That's the right one. Write it down. It's 135-792-4680. But it's not 135-702-468. It's not very well. It's blank. It's not. Yeah, they said, the narrator says leave the last digit blank. That is dumb. That's dumb. How dare they make this code look awfully bad? Wow. And that's it. And then that's about it. That's the infamous Nintendo Power Game Tips cassette. Man, I have about 4 games in my collection, and I know a lot of these people, fans out there, if you're a Nintendo collector, you should check out the tape. They're so hard to find. You don't find these anymore. But it's so tough to find when you find a Nintendo Tips cassette. It was, yeah. There's a link to the. Do you hear the MP3? It's on the that site. You can hear the link to it. The link is down below there, and I hope you all try to listen to it and play it back as well. So you want to listen to it again? Go to this website. There's a link down there. It's right down below here, but you should check that out. So at any rate, that's it. That wraps up this edition of the 4 o'clock game. And I hope you all enjoyed as well, but to see something a little bit different. So just want to tell you, it's about half an hour in there because we're going to wrap this. Let's call it a day here because it's time to end the show on a rather silly note here. I know a lot of you people, but those of you, before we end this program, I want to say a big shout out to everybody on YouTube and as well, because just before we before we leave before we end the show, I like to pay tribute to the late great Roger Ebert. You know, he passed away a few days ago at age 70, and he was the host of Roger Ebert. He was been with the Chicago Sun-Times, and he was a film critic at the time when he did a lot of stuff when he does his movie reviews, his movie critics. He started his longest running show at the movies, and then to Siskel and Ebert, and of course a couple of other movies that he did a couple of other stuff over the years, and of course as described it. I have a few some of the videos. I have many of the Disney VHS tapes I have in my collection. I just want to say this. This is a 1989 VHS of Bambi. And but you look at on the back, it says here, a perennial classic seen by every generation, remembered long after other movies has been begotten. This was according to the late Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Yeah, it's very sad we lost another great film critic. This couple of days ago when we were talking about the Roger Ebert and a couple others. I see some other movie reviews and critics out there. You can find them other Disney VHS tapes around, because I always wanted to show you the. I have to look through film critics. I want to look into other film critics as well, because I just want to show it to you people. And I'll have a quick time here because. This is just interesting. I know if you've seen any Disney VHS tapes, I would want to let you know all about it, because according to what it says here. And yes, I know every Disney VHS tape that has the words of Siskel and Ebert's 2 thumbs up. That's right, is phrase 2 thumbs up. You remember that? It's in one of those Disney TV trailers and even on one of the Disney VHS tapes we all know and love, because everything on the box on the VHS case that says 2 thumbs up. Well, that's pretty interesting. You can see all the stuff you can find on any of the Disney VHS collections ever made. But and of course, that's about it. So I want to say to Roger Ebert, rest in peace, Roger Ebert. You're the best for being 2 thumbs up. So that wraps up for this edition of the 4 o'clock game, and I will see you again another show. For an exciting episode of the 4 o'clock game. Until we meet again, this is Chris the Good Guy saying, we'll see you again real soon.